starting line. On this side of it, promise, dreams, hope. On the other side, who knows? Here we are, Mirabel, Quebec, the Canadian Superbike Championship. Round 1 of 7, a long, hot summer battle for points and podiums. This is the S1000RR, BMW's brand new Ultra Sport leader bike. It's been on the world stage, but this is its first North American appearance on a factory superbike team. We're the Rush HD BMW Motorrad Canada Superbike team, and fate has given us the task of taming this beast. I'm Chris Duff. I manage this race team. This is Mike Ferreira, our young gun. It's his first time riding in this class. This is Francis Martin, our veteran. He's got 2 Canadian Superbike Championships. In a matter of seconds, they will race the S1000RR for the first time. Years of development and months of training have all led to this moment. Over the next 4 months, we will define a superbike, we will define a company, we will define ourselves. Or, with all these unknowns, we could fail miserably. The track for round 1 of the Canadian Superbike Championship is 2.8 kilometers long. But the road to get there is a lot longer than that. Our story started months ago at this race shop nestled in the eastern townships of Quebec. The bike has just been delivered from the factory in Germany, and we're about to get our first look at the all-new S1000RR.
Now we take the bike out of the box as it comes from Berlin, and we're going to transform it into a superbike. So this is where we go from taking bits and pieces off the production motorcycle to putting on race bits and pieces and all the development that's in between those two parts, from production to race bike.
These motorcycles are called superbikes for a reason. They're 1,000 cc of power and adrenaline. Every team starts with a factory-fresh, street-legal bike, the same bike that is available to the public. That's the crux of the sport, and of course sales. Fans can watch their hero win on Sunday, then buy the winning model on Monday.
It almost looks like a superbike already, like with all the features that the bike's got from factory, ABS, traction control.
And I think this motorcycle is going to make an average rider on the track a good rider on the track because of the technology that it has.
Oh, yeah. With the traction control, well, yeah.
Hopefully we'll be able to bring our riders up on the superbikes to a new level.
Yeah.
That's Patrice Goyette. He's our crew chief. It's his job to build our superbikes. That's Norm Wells. He's the director of BMW Motorrad Canada. It's his job to make sure that Patrice has all his ducks in a row. It's the first time any of us have worked with the S1000RR. Win or lose, Norm has to answer to BMW Germany.
BMW Motorrad has been involved in racing now for about 5 years. Previous to this new 1000cc superbike project that we have, we've been racing Boxers, which is our opposed twin 1100, 1200cc engines. It's the same group that's been doing it. We have a great dynamic in the team. There's only one new addition to that. That's Patrice Goyette, and so far so good. He's the new boss, if you want, for the racing team.
To turn this street bike into a superbike, Patrice is going to strip off any unnecessary parts. Mirrors, blinkers, that sort of stuff, to make the bike as light as possible.
We can ride the bike with the stock parts, but it's good for average people. When we're building a superbike, we need them most of the time adjustable to get more flexibility.
To keep a level playing field, the Canadian Superbike Championship has some serious restrictions. One of the biggest rules? The bikes can't go over 190 horsepower. The problem is that the S1000RR comes out of the box at 193. So while other companies are working to bring their horsepower up, Patrice has to bring ours down. He has to have 2 superbikes as rideable as possible before our training session in Jennings, Florida, just 2 short weeks away. Luck. No matter how good you are, you need it to win. Apparently, luck happens when preparation meets opportunity. We like to be as prepared as possible, so instead of waiting for the weather in Canada to warm up, we've rented a track in the sunny south of Florida. We've got 2 days to train. The whole gang is here. The riders, Francis Martin and Mike Ferrer. The crew, Patrice Goyette, David Sinesny, and Richard Jackson. And of course, Norm Wells and yours truly. We're going to finally get to see Mike and Francis crank the throttle on the S1000RR. But this is also a test drive for team chemistry.
As they say in circus land, the big tent's going up, Dad. Now we're just dropping the big poles to drop our big canopy down. You'll see how fast it is. That's why we get our young riders, keep them in shape. They like to, we don't like them sitting around and getting fat on us. As you can see with the guys, we have to read the labels on them because we can't remember which pole went where from last year. Sometimes our feminine side seems to come out a little more than others. Look at the wimp gloves he's wearing.
I don't care. I don't care. At least my hands aren't dirty. That's all I care about. I gotta put motorcycle gloves on later.
That's what keeps the team so tight. If nobody's making comments and yelling at each other, then we don't think we feel the love. That's my second
There's a lot more to this sport than just racing. Superbike racing is a marketing tool. While we're here, we're supposed to get promotional photos done. The bikes are painted with sponsor logos, and we're supposed to have brand new matching suits sent to the track. But they haven't shown up yet. Suits or no suits, the show must go on. The clock is ticking, and we've got to start practicing. We're going to have to send them out in last year's suits.
Oh well, you practice on the old ones for the first session.
Yeah, it's no big deal. I'll be a little bit more comfortable in a used suit anyways rather than the brand new one.
Mm-hmm.
Brand new ones are always stiff.
Mike's been riding for BMW for 4 years. He's still a rookie though, because this will be his first time on a race prep superbike.
Obviously, I'm a little nervous. To say I'm not nervous would be an understatement, because it is a race prep bike. I've ridden the street version of this bike, and it impressed me. So now to get a real race prep bike, it's going to be something else. So I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm really excited.
When Mike was starting out in racing, a much older and more experienced Francis actually instructed him in a school for young riders. He was an idol for Mike. Now, he's a teammate. Francis is a 2-time Canadian Superbike champion, but he's been on the injured reserve for months. He's eager to shake off the cobwebs.
I had a lot of injury last year. I have a couple of 7 ribs broke on one side and 4 vertebrae. I think this year it's time to do well to just prove everybody I'm not done.
The guys were just itching to get out on the track and try their new toys, basically. So, you know, this is still their first time out. They're like kids in a candy store.
It is a big rush riding the bike. It's like a big drug. I can't stop. I can't.
Yeah, there is a little bit of addiction with, I guess it's more the rush and the adrenaline rush that you get when you're going down into a corner at 200 kilometers an hour, just something that you don't do every day. So it's addictive for sure, and it's an addiction that I'm okay with.
You mean it's not like an HP2 throttle?
No.
There's no lag anymore, it's just straight power?
It's there all the time, right there.
Oh, it's too touchy right now.
What's that?
Too touchy?
Yeah.
You found so too?
No, it's too touchy.
Holy I was riding the front like crazy. Constantly adjusting mid-corner.
You just got to know what you're doing. Well, we all know it's powerful. But the most important technology on the S1000RR is the dynamic traction control. Traction control is basically an internal computer. It compares wheel speed with the speed of the bike. If the bike senses that the rear tire is accelerating faster than the bike itself, or the wheel is spinning, the traction control system will retard the ignition. This prevents the tire from slipping out and allows grip to return as soon as possible. And less wheel spin means your tires last longer. But the idea of a computer taking control of the throttle might throw our riders off. I think it's a great feature, but we'll have to wait and see if the riders feel the same way.
I will try the traction control.
Yeah?
Yeah.
He's got the traction control on this time.
Mike does.
No, Francis.
Francis has it on. Mike's
Yeah.
got it on as well because he likes it. Francis is still on the fence about traction control. He's a little old school. It's hard for him to give over throttle control to a computer chip. Mike seems to be more open to it. Maybe it's his youth. He's getting more comfortable on the bike too. He's hungry, and he can't wait to prove his worth in round 1.
Every racer's dream is to be on a factory superbike team and to be on one of the most predominant ones for the 2010 season. I mean, I feel very privileged, and I'm going to try as hard as I can to put in some good results, and hopefully we're right there for the championship at the end of the year.
It's a lot of pressure for sure. I want to be to go there and finish on the box for sure, and I don't want anything less. We will be there for sure.
Pressure. It's always been there. But now, it's really there. Mirabel, Quebec. Circuit Icar. Round 1 of the Canadian Superbike Championship. Quebecers love their motorcycles. There are a handful of classes competing here, but they'll all play second fiddle to the big dogs, the superbikes. For us, the lazy, hazy days of private testing in Florida are a distant memory. Now every fan and every race team is dying to see the all-new S1000RR in action.
The BMW team is the center of attention this year because it's not a new model, it's a brand new motorcycle. They've never fielded a bike like this, so it's the first time BMW have been a part of the feature class, and they have probably the definitive 1000cc sport bike of this era that has just come out. There is no program in the United States. The only North American program is here in Canada. So it's definitely one of the attractions this year. But that bike has such a big reputation in terms of how it performs as a stock motorcycle, let alone modified, that everybody thinks that that bike will be running up front pretty soon.
For us, the rules are simple. It's all about points. There are 7 rounds, and the higher up you finish in each round, the more points you get. First place gets 50 points. Last place gets 1. And if you don't finish, you get a big fat goose egg. If you want to pile up the points, you've got to master the track. We practiced yesterday, but we've still got some kinks to work out. Today, we've got 2 40-minute practices to do just that. In racing, no 2 tracks are the same. Jennings, Florida was smooth asphalt, sitting comfortably on ground that never freezes. Up here, things are different. Believe it or not, this track is an old tarmac. It's a bumpy, 14-corner, concrete track with just a few short straightaways. For the bike, it's all about suspension. For the riders, it's all about confidence.
My comfort level now versus the first time I got on the bike is, it's a lot better. I've had 2 weekends now on the Superbike, so I'm coming to grips with it a lot better. Then it was a little intimidating at Jennings when I first threw a leg over it, and this track is pretty tight. It's not really meant for Superbikes, but we'll make do with it.
On the track itself, there's 18-foot by 18-foot blocks of cement, and then there's the rain grooves that they used to have for the airplanes, and there's all kinds of expansion joints in the track. So it's kind of a tricky track to set up for, but that's primarily why we're working so hard on suspension, is to get all these inputs that are going to affect the motorcycle sorted out in our suspension settings.
There's a lot of slow corner, so you need the bike to be able to keep a little bit of corner speed and easy to turn from right to left. And for now, I got a hard time a little bit on some fast corner with chatter. So that's I need to fix that.
Chatter is a vibration that can go through the front or rear of the bike. When it happens, the rider loses speed, direction, and control. It's a common problem, but on this bumpy track, it's even more common. It's dangerous, but there's a lot more than that to watch out for on this track.
It's very hard to have a reference on the track because it's all flat. The worst thing is the wall. We have few places the wall is on the way a little bit, and if you crash there, that's not going to be a good thing at all.
Guys are just getting ready, they're dressed and getting suited up. We got about 5 minutes till they actually head out on the track. We're going out with a basic setup of what we think is going to be good for this track, for this surface. It's like a constant bumping out there. It's like riding on a cement freeway, basically. Mike has his dynamic traction control on. Francis has his off.
We had an hour of practice yesterday, so that allowed us to dial in a little bit to this track, and now today, obviously the riders are able to really focus on the setup of the motorcycle, and that's what this whole session this morning is going to be about, is the setup.
What's happening, what I find is that the bike is like, when I'm fully leaned over, it's like the whole bike's compressing, it's really, really low, and then as soon as I start hitting bumps, both wheels are kind of chattering.
Okay.
At this track specifically, what we really have to work on is the suspension, because it's not a power track, it's not a high-speed track, it's a handling track. So we're we're focused 100% just on the suspension changes.
Fast corner, when I'm lean over, I'm just steady throttle, the front chatter a little bit there. Not an acceleration anymore, just like
We gave Francis stiffer fork springs yesterday. This toughened up his front suspension, so his chatter issues should be gone. But they're still hanging around. At least it's an easier fix. Francis goes back out, and Mike comes right back in. It's a revolving door today. Synchronizing rider with bike and bike with track is a tough gig for Patrice. I wouldn't want to be in his shoes today.
It made the transition worse.
Transition. Just this. Just try that for the front end. I put more compression, less rebound. Try this, but we'll need to go like I did with Francis, inside the forks. Way less oil and.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Changing the fork springs takes a long time. It'll have to be done after practice. Mike will have to deal with the chatter. There are only a few minutes left in practice, and Francis is still having chatter issues. His dynamic traction control has been off all morning. He's going to give it a try to see if it'll help with the chatter.
Slick, traction control only, no EBS.
As the first practice session comes to a close, it's clear we still have a lot of work left to do. Although both our guys finished in the top 10 fastest lap times, the chatter remains on both bikes. Luckily, we have a few hours before the next practice session to wrestle our suspension issues, especially on Mike's bike.
The chatter, did they run away?
It a little bit went away. Not all of it, but some of it.
Okay. I need the forks out. They need to come out.
Still there, for sure.
Yeah. No, I need to work
If you
on
definitely hit the wrong line, too, on the track, the whole bike just pumps all over the place.
it. Okay.
I'd have to say turn 4, 5, and 6 are what's hindering us right now. Well, what's hindering me. I know I'm losing a lot of time there, so I'm going to work on those turns in next practice. And stability-wise, I mean, it's not quite there yet.
2, 3.
Track is not too bad. We improved the lap time a little bit from yesterday, almost a second, but we still have lots of work to do on the bike. It's the front suspension. I don't feel it good at all. I have lots of chatter, and the rear is still the same. The rear just kicked me a little bit too much.
Changing the fork spring and changing the oil level to try to make the bike to steer better for transition and get rid of chatter at the same time.
The afternoon practice session begins. The spring change to Mike's Superbike has helped him shave nearly a full second off his time from this morning.
Took a
good. That was looking better. I think we finally got this chatter problem solved because Francis is also a second faster. We're making progress, but there's still a long way to go. I think they're making improvements as they go, but they better get on it quickly tomorrow morning, because that's when the times start to count. And if they don't get their act together, then obviously we'll be sitting down and having some serious conversations with them about focusing on the job at hand. We can only handle so much time practicing and getting used to the bike and changing things. There comes a point in time when you just have to shut up and ride. Intensity, it's building, and everybody can feel it. We built the Superbike in Sherbrooke. We tested it in Florida. We practiced yesterday. Every stage gets more and more intense. It's Saturday in Mirabel. The lap times from this morning's time practice matter more than ever before. The top 10 fastest lap times will make it into Super Pole, the qualifying lap that sets the starting grid. If Francis and Mike don't hit the top 10 this morning, they won't make it into Super Pole, and they won't start in the top 10. Starting in the back of the pack, well, it pretty much turns the podium into a pipe dream. For the first time ever, there's no second chance. If the guys don't get into the top 10, then we'll have a sit down and serious conversation. These guys are supposed to be professional racers. Francis has been through this before. I expect him there. And Mike, maybe we'll give him one stripe.
It's a pretty good possibility that the times will be a little faster this morning than yesterday. So I expect that. But I also expect to go quicker myself. So there's 5 of us within 0.7 of a second. So it should make up for some really good racing and a really intense qualifying as well, because everybody's going to be stretching for that extra 1/10 of a second to get ahead of another. So it'll be important to pick up a couple tenths.
To find those extra tenths of seconds, Mike's going to get an extra boost. His wife Cindy's here today. She's his high school sweetheart, and she's also his toughest critic.
I'm probably the most honest out of everybody. I won't cut corners. I know him how he is, and if he doesn't do well, I'll be the first person to tell him that wasn't good. What were you thinking? But if he does a great job, I'll be the first person to tap him on the back and say, way to go. And I know his capabilities, so I think that's why he likes having me here.
You got the feeling that there's a little bit of more intensity in the pit today. Yes, that's exactly how it goes, and that's how the weekend develops. Your Thursday, Fridays are just very relaxed. Let's get the bike set up. But today now is when the guys have to earn their keep. They have to go out there and get the times down. So they're very focused. If you look at them, they're a lot more intense. They don't seem to be so jovial and joking around so much on this day, because they know they have a big job ahead of them at 10:45.
I'm probably the most nervous. My stomach's turning. We have a tradition. I kiss him every time before he leaves. I kiss his helmet. We've been doing it since the beginning, and I'll always do it.
I'm sure everybody's a little bit nervous. I know I am. So, we're just going to take it step by step. It's baby steps, so this is the first one, and by the end of the year, it'll be a lot better.
1:15.
Let's go.
From the beginning, Mike has kept the dynamic traction control on. But Francis is still on the fence about using it. It didn't exist on the last two bikes he won championships with, and he's had a love-hate relationship with it so far. This morning, he's going to give it another try. Into the time practice, Mike's fastest lap time is hovering mid-pack in the top 10. He's happy with this, and so are we. We're also keeping an eye on number 26, Andrew Nelson. He competes with an S1000RR, but he's not on our BMW factory team. He's what's called a privateer. He pays his own way. He keeps his traction control off, and he's also hovering mid-pack. But Francis is struggling. After 15 minutes, his fastest lap is dangerously near the bottom of the top 10. This is deeply concerning for all of us. If he doesn't stay in the top 10 this morning, the best he can hope for is a third row start. And on this track, that pretty much obliterates his chances of a podium finish.
Being the first row, it's very important because especially here it's very hard to pass, and if you don't have a real good start, and even if you're in second row, you can be stuck behind a guy for maybe a lap, and after that it's too late to go catch the front guy.
.26.8.
After about 20 minutes, Francis decides to come in to have his rear suspension looked at.
Qu'est-ce que tu entends par les petites bosses quand t'es sur le gaz ou pas sur le gaz?
Même quand je fais la transition entre le 4 et le 5, là.
After all of Patrice's hard work, he's still having trouble with chatter. Patrice decides to make a rear spring change. That's risky. It's going to take about 5 minutes, leaving Francis with less than 15 minutes to improve his time. If this setup change doesn't help, Francis is in big trouble. While the pit crew works, Francis's best lap time slips to 10th fastest. With less than 10 minutes to go, Francis switches off his dynamic traction control and gets back on the horse.
.26.3. 126.3. Je sais pas, 26.2.
The changes helped, and Francis finishes 7th fastest at a time of 1 minute, 26.252, a fraction of a second ahead of Mike's 8th fastest lap time of 1 minute, 26.276. Mike improved his lap time over yesterday by almost a second and a half. The rookie's getting better every session, but Francis just can't seem to break into the 1 minute 25s. We're in Super Pole, great, but we were 0.2 of a second out of 11th fastest, and that's a scary thought. Francis really has to up his game. He needs to channel his intensity.
I'm not very happy with the result of this morning. I really like to touch the 25, and we don't. We're very close, but I hope for a 25, 6 or 7 or something like that, but we're in 26.2. But if I can drop half a second during the Super Pole, I will be very happy.
We're happy with the results. I mean, we ended up 7th and 8th, but you know, if you look between 3 and 8, it's less than a half a second. So If you're in Super Pole, then that's an important thing, because now you can go out and do a flying lap that's going to possibly be better than what the other guys was, because you know, they might have done, that might have been the best that they had in them, where our guys might have something a little bit more to offer.
I honestly didn't expect to relax there. Another half second. You're getting faster.
Focus. Keep it, and you're golden. Lose it, and you're dead in the water. Francis and Mike both made the top 10 fastest lap times in this morning's practice, and it's Super Pole time. It's a timed lap. That's right, lap. After months of prep, one single solitary lap will set the starting grid for Sunday's race. Starting round one in the front row is huge, but to get there, you have to nail the Super Pole. 10 riders will do one warm-up and one hot lap, one at a time. The top 4 lap times get the first row. They also get a few bonus points in the standings. Anything from 1 point for 4th fastest to 4 points for the fastest lap time. It's not much, but every point counts. Right now, all they see is track. They're visualizing every turn, every straightaway, every bump, over and over. If you don't visualize, you don't win. For Francis, the expectations are clear. He's our hired gun. Anything other than the first row would be a failure. For Mike, there's a different kind of pressure. As an untested rookie, the expectations aren't as high, but it's his first time out. The last thing he wants to do is blow it.
Anything can happen in Super Pole now. Both of the guys came in real happy with the bikes, very confident that they can push a little bit harder. Mike thinks he can get another couple of tenths or maybe even up to a half, and a half would put him up onto the front row. So it's all going to depend on the flying lap this afternoon now.
My goal for the Super Pole is at least drop half a second, and I'm pretty sure that's gonna put me in the first row for sure. And that's my goal for today, be in the first row, have a good spot for tomorrow for the race, and we'll see from there. But I'm gonna just turn the throttle a little bit more and release the brake a little bit earlier, and I think I'm gonna have my half a second.
2 minutes.
There is a bit of nerves, a little bit of butterflies starting to flutter around in my stomach, but it's normal, and if I didn't have those butterflies, then I wouldn't be doing it. I don't like putting that much pressure on myself. You know, I just, like I say, every single time I get on the bike, I just got to go out there and just do my thing, just ride, and safe, smart, and smooth.
The riders will get another chance to study the track before the show begins. They'll do a 10-minute warm-up, then line up in order, 10 through 1, to await their fate in pit lane.
They need to focus and get a good lap. That's what they need to do. I don't know what they're gonna do, but that's what they need to do. It's a bit tricky, you know. It's like if you push a little too hard and you run wide in one corner is not gonna screw your whole lap. But like if you miss 2 corners, you're it's over. You're not gonna get a good lap, you know.
This will be the first time in Super Pole for the BMW team, and to see if the guys can actually do faster laps or if they go a little bit slower, because with the pressure of being one rider machine and the only people on the track and everyone watching them, it can be a little intimidating at times. It's kind of scary to think that everything that they've done from the time that they've thrown a leg over a bike to dreaming of being on a factory superbike team, coming down to just one lap. Right? This is where all the training, all the exercise, all the riding, all the preparation, all the teamwork, not just the riders, but of everyone behind them to get them to this point. And they have to hit 14 corners, 14 apexes, 14 braking points, all perfect.
it's tense for sure. I mean, especially when we're going to be going out third and fourth. And then, if they set something really good, then you're all excited, and then now you got, 6 more guys to go. So, yeah, it is. And then that's when you see a lot of screen watching there.
This is easily the most nerve-wracking time. Waiting to hear the sound of the bike wind up as he comes through the next part of the track. One lap separates the men from the boys. It becomes man and machine against the track and the clock because it's just one rider on the track by himself. There's no excuses. It comes down to the rider doing his job and doing it properly. Mike is doing the most important lap of his life. For us, it's white knuckle time. For Mike, I can't even imagine. For Francis, he's got his own problems to worry about. He's up next, and this will be his first big pressure lap since he broke 7 ribs and 4 vertebrae last year. He'd never admit it, but deep down inside, I know he's afraid. Every time they go out on the track, there's always a potential for disaster. So, nervous? Yeah, definitely. I can feel it in my stomach and, the butterflies or whatnot, and we just want to see them both do really well and, come back with the wheels down, the bikes in one piece. That's all we're asking. Time of the weekend. Mike picked a good time to get his best lap time. There are 7 riders to go, but his 1 minute 26.074 puts him on the front row for now. Mike kept his focus. Now, Francis really has to nail it. He doesn't just have to make the front row. He has to show his younger teammate who's boss. The question is, can he keep his focus? Here we go. Here goes Francis. Woo! Come on, buddy.
Come on. 25. Hey! 25s. Woo! Yeah. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Good. Good. Into the 25s. Both guys, fastest laps of the weekend. That's amazing. Awesome.
There's not been, this weekend, there's not been that many 25s, so I mean, that could be like, front row start.
For both?
Right? Which is why we're here.
Yes, sir.
Start at the front.
Absolutely, man.
All it means is that lap into corner 1, it's going to get pretty hairy with
They better get their starts nailed down.
Run, man. Yes! Yes! Whoa. Yeah! I've got 26.2 there. Good! Woo.
Attention, Francis. Yeah. Good job, man. Good job. Good job.
I'm very, very happy to see my 25.5 right after my lap, because after my lap on my timer, I see a 26.2 and I said, well, my teammate beat me now. And finally I arrived and everybody's on thumbs up in the pit, and I said, well, maybe I go faster than I thought, and they told me 25.5.
Good job, buddy. Good job. Very good job. Good to see you smile. If there were any jitters, Francis didn't show it. He got his best lap time of the weekend when it mattered most. Mike was half a second behind, but it was his best lap time too.
Oh, what can I say? I'm ecstatic. I mean, I didn't see that coming, especially after the mistakes that I made. I thought, if I'd be lucky to get into a 27, and like the worst I was going to finish was on the third row. So I was, that's the thought process that I went out with, just to not put any additional pressure on myself. But after that mistake in 2, I pushed a little harder into 3, and I almost lost the front. And it just, and I just pushed for the rest of the lap. And when I came in to hear 26.0, now I'm even more happy, because now I know that there's time to get into the 25s, and I'm really happy.
Although there's got, at the moment, we've got both our guys on the front row. There's 3 BMWs on the front row.
I know, I realize that. For now, yeah.
Andrew Nelson, the privateer riding the other S1000RR, beats both Mike and Francis with a time of 1 minute 25.470 and joins them in the top 4. Front row domination for BMW feels pretty nice, but there are a lot of riders to go. All we can do now is hope. I mean, I'm happy right now, yeah, for sure. I mean, the guys did well. They performed perfectly. Right? We asked them to go faster, they went faster. We can ask them to go faster tomorrow.
Alex did a 27.
27. Beautiful.
What did Alex?
Alex just did a 27. He's gone slower, so we're still front row. That's a second row start.
Guaranteed.
With 3 riders to go, Mike and Francis are still in the front row. A second row guarantee is nice, but a front row start for both of them? That would be incredible. Let's see if Trombino can throw a lap together now. After that, you've got Kevin and Jordan, who are very experienced Super Pole riders.
Yeah.
Frank Trombino falls short. Now it's getting interesting. 2 riders to go, and Team BMW are sitting in 2nd and 4th, both on the front row. This is intense. Different riders deal with it in different ways. Mike's eyes are glued to the monitor. But Francis is off on his own, cool as a cucumber. Maybe he finds it less stressful to pretend that he doesn't care, but we all know he does. The 9th rider, Kevin McComb, hits a time of 1 minute 25.887 seconds. Francis holds 2nd place, but Mike falls to 5th and gets bumped to the 2nd row. Reigning champion Jordan Zoke is the final rider. If he nails it, Mike and Francis will be pushed further down the grid. Jordan Zoke has a habit of smoking the competition. This was no exception. He hits a time of 1 minute 24.910, the fastest in Super Pole. This pushes Francis to 3rd and Mike to 6th place. Francis will stay on the 1st row with Andrew Nelson.
Hey, still 2 on the front row.
2 on the front row.
Perfect.
Not bad, eh?
We're 1st row and 2nd row for the Superbike team. We're ecstatic. I mean, we're just so happy about this. That was our goal all weekend, was to get one of them on the front row. And the goal's been achieved. And now tomorrow, it's just all out racing and war. Corporately for BMW, it was just a huge day, because the privateer who's running here as well, Andrew Nelson, number 26, he got second. So now we have 2 BMWs on the front row for tomorrow's start. So I think that sends out a big message about this new bike that we brought to the market, and then I'm personally very happy about that from a corporate side now, not being on the team side of it. For me, I think this is just an awesome day, fantastic.
So your third?
Third, yeah.
That's awesome. Front row.
First, yeah.
I was just happy to not get pushed back to the third row.
You did a good job, man. 26 flat, that's very good.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
With a good start, I think we can stay right there with Jordan Zoke and Kevin Lacombe, and Andrew Nelson probably is going to be around, and probably Mike is going to be there too. It's going to be a big fight tomorrow for sure, and well, I think we are in a real good position to finish on the box tomorrow.
They've now done this fast laps with no one on the track. Well, the next time they go out, they're going to be lining up with 30 other egomaniacs to slam into corner one, and let's hope that they all come out in one piece and and make it for the 25 laps that it's going to be. Potential. It's a funny thing. You really don't have to prove much to get it. Tomorrow is round 1, and we'll see if potential meets reality.
We're at the best we can be at right now, and it's up to the guys now to go out there and get it done. Every country that's racing this bike so far is winning on the bike, and obviously, yeah, I'm a little stressed out, hoping that we get some good results because of what's going on around the world. So if Canada all of a sudden becomes the only country in the world that can't seem to get this thing to work, then we all look like schmucks.
First guy wants to beat always is his teammate, so that's the next guy on the block.